Today was the day that I got my car fixed. It wasn't cheap. 550 smackaroonies. But it runs like a dream now. So, even though it was quite expensive, it needed to be done. I had quite an interesting meal for each of my meals today. The first one was the last of the cinnamon coffee cakes we got from the grocery store with a cup of coffee. And I distinctly remember needing to walk back home after dropping off my car to be fixed. We actually had it towed early in the morning because my car wouldn't start. So it was driven where it needed to go. And um, yeah, when I was walking back, I wasn't even interested in eating anything out. One, because I knew I need to conserve as much money as I can because of the high costs of fixing my vehicle. But on the other hand, I just wasn't really hungry. For my second meal of the day, it was sort of a mishmash, really. It was a combination of refried pinto beans, uh, freshly made tortillas, uh, chips, potato chips specifically. And then after that, I had a little snack in the form of a peanut butter and jelly croissant sandwich, which was actually really good, and a cup of coffee with allulose, monk fruit sweetener, and half and half. That was actually pretty good. For dinner, it was really good. I had a grilled pork chop, chopped into two corn tortillas. Corn flour tortillas, I mean. Very tasty. For dessert, I had cookies and cream, and then I poured milk into the cookies and cream, and then I mixed it to try to make my own milkshake. It was a little too wet. Next time I'll only add a dab and mix it in. I like my milkshakes to be a bit thicker. If that makes any sense. Kind of like a malt. Although I suppose you need a specific device for that. Um, for today, I did a whole lot of laundry. I cleaned all my dirty clothes, and folded it and put it away, which was very nice. And I crushed and put away the cans, so that was nice as well. I even folded my mom's laundry, which actually was the house's laundry because it was a bunch of towels and rags that we use for our day-to-day cleaning around the house. Very good. I, of course, watched quite a bit of YouTube, as I do each day. Today's topics included this these new X-Real 1 Pro glasses that were being reviewed on the YouTube channel Tested, which is known for its high quality reviews on AR and VR technologies. It was a pretty comprehensive review, and I think it did a pretty good job at surmising why you probably should stick with the X-Real 1s over the X-Real 1 Pros. And the main reason mostly comes down to the optical stack in the 1 Pros, despite it having a flatter prism design, ultimately isn't really good because it makes the pixel density of the 1080p displays less compact because it's attempting to do a wider field of view, and this ultimately means and not only that, the way that the image has to be contorted onto these optical stacked lenses, which are called prism lenses instead of birdbath lenses on the X-Real 1 Pros, it distorts the image to a point where it needs software in order to correct the image to make it look less distorted. So it has sort of a pin cushions look. If that sounds like it doesn't really make any sense or is a weird term, it basically just means that parts of the image are like contorted upward and downward. It's not a perfect like rectangle or 16:9 aspect ratio. And so it needs software, which is the onboard computing of the glasses, to correct the aspect ratio to make it look more correct. But because the image has to be contorted a bit more using the prism technology, pretty much means that the final image needs to be much brighter. So even though it's advertised as being shown at 700 nits on X-Real's website, they have to turn up the brightness quite a bit in order to compensate for the loss of brightness due to the way the display technology works on those glasses. So basically, it's not a perfect solution yet, and it's cool. It definitely is not in its final stages. We'll just put it that way. It's a shame too, because I was really looking forward to those glasses. I thought they looked really dope. Not that I would be able to afford them anyways due to my current car troubles, but the idea of having your own portable display anywhere you go, that comes in the form of glasses, just sounds really fun and cool to me, like your own personal movie theater. And it not being executed super perfectly on the One Pros, which is what I was hoping for, is a bit of a shame. At least the original ones seem to be doing a decent enough job. Other than that, there was a lady on the YouTube channel called Cat VR talking about the future of VR and how like Ready Player One slowly becoming a reality, with like the omnidirectional treadmill becoming commonplace in industrial and military training use cases. Although the upfront investment cost is $5,000, and there doesn't seem to be a promise for consumer grade versions of the omnidirectional treadmill in sight quite yet. Although there are different promised future technologies that do promise you to walk in VR, and one of those is really cool. It's like shoes with little motors on them and like sort of like wheels to, like, even though you're walking in one space, it makes you feel like you're walking in an endless like field naturally. And it looks really cool. I don't know what these shoes are called, but the demo was demonstrated in the video and it looked really cool. Like, man, like the future of AR VR is going to be really interesting, that's for sure. Moving on. What else? I realized I hadn't been working on my YouTube channel at all in recent memory, so I decided to remedy that today by working on a brand new a supplemental channel that isn't part of my main Brain Jam channel, called Brain Jam Extra. And this channel is basically where I'm going to post me working on my main channel, me documenting the process and trying to figure out how to approach it the best way I can. I actually recorded a good 2 hours and 20 minutes worth of footage today, although some of that's like dead air because I was taking 5-minute breaks during some of those sessions, because I was following the Pomodoro technique, where it's like 25 minutes of dedicated work, 5 minutes of like going out and like walking a bit and stretching and things like that. Um, I'd say I learned quite a lot. I learned what makes a YouTube channel more appealing, which is you need to know what audience you're appealing to. You also need to have a clear, definitive idea of what you're trying to communicate. And you also need to know how to create a great title and thumbnail that really captures people's attention in a good way, not in an obnoxious way. And you just need to really make that first 30 seconds land really good. I want my YouTube channel to be a combination of like learning but also story, if that makes sense. I want it to have like this main channel mascot character go on a little journey where he tries to discover like how to become a better version of himself because he's kind of in the dumps, and he's trying to rise above how he's currently feeling to really excel and be the best version he can possibly be of himself. So that's what I'm trying to go for with that. It's going to be a lot of fun, really interesting. Yeah, I worked on that for quite a while. Then I was really exhausted. I hung out with my mom and our family friend. We had a little break, chillax together. Then my mom needed to go to work. I actually did watch a YouTube channel called Hats Off Entertainment, where he was talking about the Mr. Magoo movie and how it was like a really lame film with an interesting background. I'd have to agree. One of the more interesting aspects was apparently the main actor, Leslie Nielsen, who was playing Mr. Magoo, didn't want to shave his head for the role. Instead, he wanted to simply just make it look like he was balding instead because he didn't want to cut his hair. Which, I don't know. If you're an actor, come on, commit to the bit. You know, pain is temporary, film is forever. And I don't know, if you're that worried about how you appear on camera, then I don't know, it just feels kind of lame. Like, you're getting paid the big bucks to be in this project, you might as well commit to it. I don't know. Your hair will always grow back. Oh well, I guess he just thought it was a dumb movie or something, or not worth the extra effort. Well, anyways, the movie itself, I think I actually remember watching it like on DVD back when Blockbuster was still around 2007 or 8. And even as a kid, when I would have been like 8 or 9 years old, I just thought it was kind of a lame movie. So, yeah, I guess maybe he was right not to get that worked up over, but I don't know. I would have done 100% even if it was for a film that wasn't that amazing. But moving on. Yeah, I heard about like an Addams Family reboot on Hats Off Entertainment as well. That was in the 90s that captured the spirit of the original Addams Family from the 60s. And one of the coolest things about that show from the late 90s was apparently the guy who played the original dad from the Addams Family returned in that reboot of the show in the late 90s as the grandfather of the Addams Family. Sort of like a cool little callback. That was really fun to see, I have to say, because that guy's really charismatic and cool. Yeah. Then I got all into this, if you can see behind there, Area 52 interview with this guy who was like apparently a former CIA officer, and apparently he's confirmed that alien human hybrids are a thing. They're like real, but they look very similar to real humans, so it's kind of hard to tell the difference. Really weird stuff, you know? Like, And apparently he got his information from like one of the leading CIA like officers like in a briefing. Kind of weird though that like he's just dropping this information out into the open now. Like, I mean, either he's lying because I don't think CIA would allow stuff like this classified to be out in the public, or maybe he's been cleared to talk about this, which means maybe some big reveal might be happening in the near future. Who knows? Either way, it is quite interesting. Because I don't know, he seems like a pretty good liar to me, because he seems like he's really believing what he's talking about. For all I know, maybe the officer just was trolling him because he knew he was a big fan of like UFOs and aliens and the paranormal and he wanted to get his goat, but who knows? I'm just reporting back what I'm hearing. Yeah. Oh, and I was driven to the car mechanic by our family friend, thank goodness for her, and my car was ready to go. The starter is fixed, the battery was changed, and I paid the money. I thanked the mechanic, really cool dude. Um, he got help from his friends, and yeah, car seems to be running pretty well now. Very smooth. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I will see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.